Hey guys, it's Mr. Boomba, your friendly RuneScaper, and today we're going to be talking about the Gallo SA12 and why I think it is one of the best weapons in Warzone for fighting indoors, for dealing with campers, and clearing out buildings. I'm going to be going over the attachments that I use and why I think they work so well, especially for the playstyle that I have whenever I use the Gallo. So if you're looking for a new weapon to dominate indoors, or if you are just having trouble with campers, then stick around because I really do think that the Gallo SA12 is one of the best weapons you can be using for those very close engagements. Real quick, JGOD the GOAT released a video in the middle of me making this video, and he titled it, "Is the shotgun meta back?" And people in the comment section, they are freaking out and they are having flashbacks and PTSD about the meta, origin, and R9 days. But I don't think that's the case with the Gallo SA12. It does have a few balanced features like the slow reload speed and the magazine capacity that just prevents it from being on that top tier. The Gallo can hold up to 12 shells, where the origin had a drum mag that put it up to like 25, and the old R9's 2-shot range was crazy long, whereas the Gallo takes typically about 3 to 4 shots at the same range. And then you pair that with the slower reload speed, it just doesn't make it on that top tier, that top level, like how the old origin and R9 meta were. But I still do believe the Gallo absolutely dominates in those closer ranges. And now that we got that out of the way, let's get into the video and talk about why I think that. Alright guys, so notice the way that I'm using the Gallo. I am hip firing and I am moving towards the opponent. I am not ADSing because honestly I'm trash, and if I try to be more precise with my shots, I just end up missing more of my shots. And this is where the Gallo shines. You don't have to have pinpoint accuracy to destroy with this weapon. Notice when I hit all 3 of my shots, then it was great. The enemy went down quick, but I also missed a few shots in some of the clips that I showed you. And with the right attachments, you can increase the fire rate for the Gallo at a point where it's okay to miss a few shots, because then you can just do a quick follow-up shot and get that quick TTK. And these are the 2 attachments that allow you to do that, either the hammer forged barrel or the reinforced heavy barrel. Both increase the fire rate the same amount, and they both drop the TTK by about 60 milliseconds. And this is why the Gallo is so good, because none of the other shotguns have an attachment like this. The Gallo SA12 has one of the best ranges for shotguns. There's a YouTuber by the name of Algumtoff, and he's like the JGOD of shotguns, and he made a video about the Gallo and how it has one of the best ranges for a shotgun. Of course, it's not going to be comparable to an SMG like a MP5 or a MAC-10, but that extra, I think it was like up to a meter range that the Gallo has over the other shotguns, it does make a difference, especially, you know, in those engagements where the enemy might be further out than you expect. Could it be like a longer hallway than you expected, or if they're even running away, you can chase them down and get better range with the Gallo. After the Season 2 update, the agency choke still hurts your damage range despite it saying it helps in the armory, but not by a whole lot. Algumtoff made a whole video explaining this, and if you want a more in-depth explanation, I'll link his video down below. But it's still worth it, in my opinion, to use a choke to suppress your shotgun, even with that very slight penalty to your damage range. The Gallo still has a very decent range with the choke on. One more element that makes the Gallo so good is the mobility. I mentioned that my playstyle is to hip fire and close in the distance. I never ADS because I mentioned I consider myself an average player and I'll end up missing more shots if I ADS. And you could argue that ADSing with shotguns, if you are in shotgun range, is unnecessary. And with this aggressive playstyle, you could also argue that because I'm hip firing, I am moving at a much faster movement speed. And so I am closing in the distance at a faster rate, and I am mitigating that need to aim down sight and get better range through movement, because I'm just moving towards them and shooting at the same time. I use the no stock because although it has a penalty to hip fire accuracy, it has a huge increase to sprint to fire time, which is useful when you initially bust through that door and if you're chasing somebody down. And can we take a second to talk about how the Gallo already has no stock, but you have to use up an attachment to get these bonuses? I mean, when you add no stock, there's absolutely no change in how the gun looks like. But anyways, the reason I do that is because you can add that hip fire accuracy back through a laser, and apparently the Ember sighting point laser increases damage range, but I'm not sure if that's true or not. But I use it because it gives back that hip fire accuracy, which is very important for the playstyle that I mentioned. And in the end, in conclusion, the Gallo is the best weapon, I think, for those indoor engagements, but that's as far as it goes. If the final circle does land in an open area, then you would be handicapping yourself by having the shotgun instead of having like an SMG or anything with more range, for all that matters. But this video is about how the Gallo excels indoors. If the final circle does end up indoors, then you would be at a huge advantage. It's a 3-shot at best, but if you're an average player like myself, you'll probably miss a few shots, and that's okay with the Gallo because of everything that I mentioned in this video. And here are more kills that demonstrate exactly that. You'll see that I miss a few shots or I'll hit the doorway, but I'll make up with it with a quick follow-up shot. And that's exactly why I think the Gallo is one of the best weapons for those indoor engagements in Warzone.
You pussy.
They're down. On your feet.
To the left. Gas is moving in. New safe zone.
Good shit.